Good evening, everyone. It's so exciting to see so many people here tonight. As I said, my name is Lynn Schuchter, and I have the honor tonight of starting us off. We're going to begin this evening with a video. So many of you remember that Tara spoke at our 40th anniversary for the Abramson Cancer Center celebration. Many of you people in this room were so moved by her words. And that day, she was actually supposed to be admitted to the hospital. There was an opportunity for her to speak here, and we were so pleased that she joined us that night. And we thought there was not a better way to start this evening than to hear her words. So I'm going to introduce this video, and then we'll start with the program. Thanks, everyone.
Tara Miller. Tara is a melanoma patient and a very close and dear friend to our family. I'm thrilled that she's here tonight. I'm thrilled that she's going to come up to this podium and make a few comments. I think she has a lot to say, and I am very, very proud to have her as a friend. Tara? Tara's wearing high heels too, in case you haven't noticed.
I want to apologize. I'm going to have to read straight from my notes, but I promise I have a good excuse. I'm less than 3 weeks post-brain surgery and still a little foggy from all the medication. However, when Dan asked me to participate in this event, I couldn't pass up the opportunity to celebrate the incredible work being done here at the Abramson Cancer Center and by Dr. Schuchter and her team. This past July, everything was going pretty well for me. I had recently passed both the New Jersey and PA bar exams after having to defer law school for a year in 2008 when I needed 3 spinal surgeries unrelated to cancer. I was clerking for a judge I loved working with and was learning so much in a career I spent years working towards. Then, on July 10th, 2013, I got the phone call no one ever expects to get, and my life instantly changed. As Dan told me, I became a member of a club nobody ever wants to be a part of. At 28 years old, I became a cancer patient. Unfortunately, my story is far too common. Melanoma is the most common form of cancer for young adults aged 25 to 29, and the second most common cancer in adolescents and young adults aged 15 to 29. One of the main reasons I wanted to be part of this great celebration tonight is because I am so unbelievably grateful to the entire staff at Penn. All of my doctors and caregivers at Penn have been nothing short of amazing. As I stand here today, some of you may not realize that in July I had a full neck dissection down the left side of my face, during which my parotid and 24 lymph nodes were removed. And that's thanks to Dr. O'Malley, who took the time to have a reconstruction team make sure that there was no deformity from the tumor removal. And like most 28-year-old women, when I heard brain surgery 3 weeks ago, my first thought was, yikes, are they going to shave my head? But Dr. O'Rourke and his team didn't. Instead, his team spent an hour pre-op sewing my hair in a straight line so that they only had to shave about 1 centimeter wide, and I got to keep all the rest of my hair. Although on a scale of the rest of the things going on, saving my hair may not be that important, the doctors here have gone above and beyond to make sure that this experience has been as good as cancer can be, and I'm so thankful to them for that. From the minute I was diagnosed and throughout the surgeries, procedures, radiation, etc., I've tried to make the best of it and recognize that I'm lucky to have such an amazing family, friends, support system, and most of all, doctors and researchers with me going through this. On the blog that I started and named Make the Best of It, I talk about hashtag silver linings a lot. And I have to say that the best silver lining in all of this has been Dr. Schuchter and the Abramson Cancer Center. I'm so lucky to be treated at a hospital that is truly a world leader in cancer research, and by a doctor that, no matter who you ask, is known as the best and most compassionate in this field. In fact, she texted me after brain surgery, and when I joked that I was starving and could go for a milkshake, she laughed. But what really amazed my family and I was the next morning when I was cleared to eat, and she kicked my twin sister out of line at Potbelly's when she was there getting me a milkshake and yelled at her that she was getting my milkshake. In my house, everything has always been a sports analogy, and my dad frequently refers to Dr. Schuchter as the quarterback of the team. Dr. Schuchter has been so much more than my quarterback, though. She's been my friend and our partner for every moment of this fight, including nights, weekends, and holidays, which me and my family appreciate more than anyone will ever know. But my dad is right, as parents tend to be. Quarterback probably is the best description for Dr. Schuchter because part of what makes Penn such a special place to receive treatment is that it is a team that it is important to have every person in this room as a member of. I first met Dr. Schuchter on a Friday afternoon in July when she spent 2.5 hours with my parents and me explaining the disease, explaining the treatment options, and making sure we completely understood everything. I can't even begin to explain how amazing Dr. Schuchter was at that first appointment and every single day since. Since that first appointment, it has actually progressed to stage 4 cancer and spread to 2 different spots in my brain, one of which was treated with gamma knife in September, the other which I recently had full brain surgery for. And I also have 4 spots in my lungs. Because of Dr. Schuchter and the research being done here at Penn, there are new treatments that will fight this terrible disease. In September, I started IPI, an immunotherapy drug, and last week I started BRAF and MEK inhibitors, all treatment options that were literally not available 3 years ago. These are treatment options that are game changers for stage 4 melanoma patients like myself. The research that Dr. Schuchter and Penn have led and been a part of have made the treatments I'm on today available. These are treatments that were developed with the money raised for research in the fight against a disease that knows no boundaries. Unfortunately, cancer has touched almost everyone in one way or another. When raising money, Gwyneth Paltrow said, "We have the power to make cancer powerless and perhaps even end it, but it takes research and that requires funding." Cancer has taken some of the best among us, and it's time for us all to stand up and fight back. So in conclusion, I just want to recognize that I know the only reason the treatments I'm on today are available, the only reason I have a chance to fight this disease is because of the work that Dr. Schuchter and the team at Penn and the funding that supports their research. But we aren't done yet. We need a cure. So congratulations to the Abramson Center on 40 years of unbelievable accomplishments and breakthroughs.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks so much for coming. What a super impressive person, and what a compelling video and message. It's so difficult for me to imagine someone who was about to enter the hospital and who had gone through what Tara had gone through to deliver such an inspiring and compelling message. I'm Larry Jameson. I'm the Dean of the Perelman School of Medicine. I remember that event like it was yesterday. It was held just over to this area behind you to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the Abramson Cancer Center. Tara was one of several speakers, and as you'll hear more about this evening, I'm sure, it was at that very event that she formulated some of the concepts behind the reason that we're here tonight. So first, let me acknowledge George and Debbie Miller, Lauren and Christy. The Miller family are the reason so many of you are here. They supported Tara through everything that she went through and the surgery and clinical trials. But this family, together with all of you in the room, is going to ensure that we have a relentless approach to preventing and treating and finding new cures for melanoma. And Tara would have been the first to point out that it's really important that we recognize the patient's role in participating in clinical trials and research, as well as the role of the physicians, some of whom she acknowledged in her video. So we need the right combination. We need the innovation, the new treatments, we need the patients to participate, we need the institutional support for clinical trials, and I don't want to underestimate for a second the impact that all of you in the room have, not only through the financial support that you provide, but I can assure you that for the doctors and scientists here, it is so inspiring for them to know that there are people like you who have their back and support their work and what they're trying to accomplish. There are many hours that they spend in the laboratories And sometimes the experiments don't go well, and having a team like you behind them is incredibly meaningful to them as well. So just a couple of words about why I have hope about this field and what the Tara Miller Center will be able to accomplish. In the few short years since the foundation has been supporting research here, we've had a number of advances, and there are more coming. And I'm just going to give 4 very brief examples. The first is to think about the ways that melanoma escapes our current treatments. Like many malignancies, there are a variety of genetic alterations, and a little bit like you've got your navigation system underway in your car and you hit a blocked road, the cancer cells decide to take a detour and a different path, almost like they've got ways in place. We need to find that other path so we can block it and develop a new treatment for it. The second example is one of those where here at Penn Medicine, a group of faculty in dermatology have identified a way that estrogen can work through a totally novel pathway to alter the function of melanocytes, the kinds of cells that cause melanoma. So here's a brand new approach to potentially treating melanoma. A third example, which takes advantage of our radiation facility below us, has been abbreviated RADVAX. It's the combination of radiation and vaccine. And so in this combination, if you block 2 components of the immune system and add radiation treatment, you get a very aggressive response against the tumor. It began with 1 patient, then there was a clinical trial, and Dr. Schuchter and her colleagues, Dr. von der Heide, participated in trying to get this trial underway. So constant, relentless innovation is part of this. And the last example I'll mention was a recent study that came out in a very prestigious journal, Nature Medicine, where they examined, can you predict which patients are going to respond to immunotherapy and which patients are not going to respond? And they've got a very detailed algorithm for making that prediction within a week. And the advantage of that is, if you're not responding, stop taking a medicine that may have side effects and let's try something new. Let's try a new clinical trial. So we've got a really broad team of innovative scientists here working across disciplines. That last paper involved people from hematology, oncology, dermatology, pathology, immunology, all working together to find better treatments for melanoma. So I want to thank publicly tonight Bob von der Heide, who's the director of the Abramson Cancer Center, and I also want to acknowledge, as we just heard, Len Schuchter. Len is not only going to be the inaugural director of this center, and she was Tara's physician, as you heard, but she's also the chief of our hematology oncology division. And it's a pleasure for me to now formally introduce Len to speak with you.
I don't usually read my remarks, but I do want to make sure I capture all that I want to say tonight. I first want to thank everyone for being here tonight. This is a really special night. We're here to establish the Tara Miller Melanoma Center at the Abramson Cancer Center of the University of Pennsylvania. It's an incredible moment for our program. This type of funding will really propel our longstanding melanoma program to really reach new heights and be able to advance our cures faster. But it's also really special for me personally because I took care of Tara. And it was really a privilege for me to be her medical oncologist. And over the last 6 years, the Miller family, George and Debbie, Lauren, Christy, Josh, we've had such a special relationship and friendship. We've shared heartbreak, but we've also shared great joys and inspiring progress. For those of you who don't know the whole story of Tara, and you heard and you saw her words, which I hadn't saw that video in a while, Let me just remember her a little bit more. I have such a clear memory of meeting her and her amazing family. We were on PCAM, and what was clear was that she was just beautiful, vibrant woman. As she mentioned, she was just beginning her career as an attorney. And her story is that she had a little insignificant mole removed from her skin, wasn't even thought to be melanoma. And then she noticed a lump in her neck, and that biopsy did show that it was melanoma. And so on that first visit, what was so clear is that Tara was so bright. She was so determined. She did her research. She understood where the field was going. She understood what the advances were in melanoma. And she was really clear in, we're going to fight this. She did go through really aggressive treatments. The melanoma recurred. She went through numerous treatments, and as she said, she had multiple brain surgeries when the cancer spread. And almost 5 years ago, it'll be 5 years in October, Tara died from melanoma. But before she died, she and her family established the Tara Miller Melanoma Foundation. And through that foundation, the Millers and this amazing community have raised more than $3 million to fund melanoma research. And so much of that funding has come to Penn. And actually what Dr. Jameson just highlighted, a number of these advances, the Tara Miller Melanoma Foundation supported. So it's been amazing, the tangible evidence of your research and support to Penn. But in this next chapter of Tara's story, we're really celebrating now naming our melanoma program the Tara Miller Melanoma Center. And this center is going to be dedicated to research and to treat patients with melanoma. And I want to give you a little bit of information about our melanoma program. That's at the Abramson Cancer and at Penn Medicine. The program actually started in 1978, and it was started by Dr. Wallace Clark. And he was also one of my mentors. And when the program was established here, it was the first multidisciplinary care, meaning bringing lots of disciplines together to care for patients with melanoma. And he also pioneered the concept that a mole starts, and over time there is progression, and it turns into melanoma. And then he understood in a melanoma, why does it advance? And so at the very beginning, we had Wallace Clark, David Elder, I don't know if he's here tonight, DuPont Gary, and Maynard Hertland. These were our initial leaders of this program. And I want to mention that there were two important hallmarks of this program from the very beginning, and it's so interesting that Tara actually picked up on this. One is the importance of bringing the whole team together. And so they brought together dermatologists, surgeons, medical oncologists, statisticians, scientists, clinicians, medical oncologists, all together to tackle this program of melanoma. And in 1978, this was really unheard of to bring all the disciplines together. I would ask that, so we have many people in our melanoma team here tonight, and I would ask you to just to wave or stand up so we could recognize this incredible team. They're in the back. They're all around us. It's an incredible team. And the second important hallmark from the very beginning of our program is that everyone's voice matters. And so when I was the youngest scientist and clinician on the team, or now it's Alex Wang, we listen to everybody. Everybody's ideas are valued, and we all come together to push each other and to strive to find new treatments. And that really has been from the very beginning, and I think that's still important today. This team has been responsible for understanding why melanoma gets worse, which patients will do better, or which patients are going to have a recurrence, really interesting prognostic models, innovations in melanoma surgery. We were part of the team that identified the BRAF gene in melanoma, and we've been part of all the treatments that we're going to talk about in the advancement of melanoma treatment. I think it was important to tell you a little bit about the history of the program and about what I would say is it's an outstanding program. And I think Tara would only want her name associated with really an outstanding melanoma program. And so I have provided my evidence so that she would feel really proud of really the history of our program. I have been treating patients with melanoma for more than 30 years. This disease, melanoma, grabbed me. It literally just grabbed me when I was a second-year fellow at Hopkins. And it's really been my life's work to find better treatments for patients with melanoma. And for the first 20 years as a melanoma doctor, we really didn't have any effective therapies. And those were very tough years. We had very little to offer. But then an astonishing turning point occurred when our work really began to bear fruit. And over the past 5 to 8 years, there have been more than 10 new drugs approved by the FDA that really is resulting in patients with melanoma living longer. And I'm really proud to say that this melanoma team has really played a part in all of those recent FDA approvals. So there could be a pill that a patient takes and their melanoma shrinks within days. There are new immunotherapies that maybe are curing patients with stage 4 melanoma, something that I thought I would never be able to say. But these therapies don't work for every patient. Tara was, in fact, treated with all of these most advanced treatments. So we've made progress, but clearly we have a lot more work to do. And thanks to Tara's courage and her foresight in establishing the Tara Miller Foundation, we really are changing the odds for patients with melanoma. And with this incredible community, you really have already made, as I said, tangible differences in patients. Debbie, 10 years from now, 25 years from now, and 100 years from now, our patients and our providers are going to ask us, who was Tara Miller? And her legacy will be really clear. Tara was a most amazing and courageous young woman who did everything she could to survive melanoma. She showed remarkable strength and courage to defeat melanoma, and she faced her melanoma with great humor, and she so loved her family. The story will continue that one of Tara Miller's many extraordinary qualities was that though she was sick, her thoughts and energies turned to others. And with incredible strength and positivity, she established a foundation to raise funds to find a cure for melanoma. Her mission was to ensure that the odds were better for those who came after her. She wanted to stop buying time and instead give a lifetime to patients facing this disease. This is her legacy. We are so honored that forever, Tara's name will be connected to our program. We feel humbled and we feel great responsibility to do right by her. We promise to honor her passion, her vision, her voice, and we will always remember her.
I'm Tara's dad, and I would like to start off by thanking Dr. Jamison, Dr. Vanderhyde, Dr. Schuchter, Trish, and Carly. This would not have come about without the extreme effort of all 5 of those people pushing to get this done. Debbie and I feel when we were offered the opportunity for the naming center that there'd be no greater tribute to Tara. All 5 of these individuals worked with us in order to get this done, and we feel that for Tara, Penn is the perfect partner. There is no better partnership for us than Penn. I would be remiss if I didn't have some sports analogy because Tara did in every speech. We feel this way even though it was a game we lost. And I'll come back to that in a second, but there is nothing else that could have been done to save Tara. Penn went above and beyond. And I think when we were offered this opportunity, it was important to us because there's nothing else they couldn't have done for Tara. I think it's important for Debbie and I, when you look around the room, to acknowledge the foundation, and the foundation in a way that our community of South Jersey, and which has spilled over to our community now of Philadelphia, has been so supportive of Tara's foundation. Tara was overwhelmed the first year. She would be, to use her words, blown away by where it has gone and what she has accomplished. So to that end, Debbie and I want to thank all of you for what you have done for us and Tara's foundation. I ask everybody to take 15 seconds and think about where they were and what they were doing in December of 1979. And just try to place where you were and what you were doing. And now place what you were doing when you were 28 years old. Tara was 28 when she came to the realization she had a deadly disease. And to that end, she said, I'm not going to want to, everybody plays the game. What if I knew I wasn't going to make it? What would I do? Well, would I travel? Would I buy stuff? And Tara chose to start a foundation to help other people. And Debbie and I felt when we were given this opportunity that you really have to kind of reward that courage and that dedication to society. And you say, where did it come from? And I can tell you exactly where it came from. Dr. Jamison alluded to it. Tara gave this speech at Abramson Cancer's 40th anniversary. When she got done, people talked to her in the audience, and she walked out and said to Debbie, Christie, and Lauren, I want to start my own foundation. That's the impact that the Abramson Cancer Center had on her back then. And that was December 3rd, 2013. So you never know where good things are going to come from. And, you know, we've talked about Tara, and I really don't want to really go over what Dr. Jamison and Lynn have gone over. But I will tell you that I think the essence of this center will be what Tara projected in her fight with cancer. And if you read Tara's blog, she was always clear and open, driven to success. She wanted to succeed. She wanted to leave no stone unturned. She wanted to take every opportunity, no matter how painful, what it took to survive. She was incredibly compassionate and caring for other people. She was strong-willed and always positive. Tara had a rule. You couldn't cry around her. You couldn't say, Tara, have you ever asked yourself, why me? And you could never feel sorry for her. That's something she wouldn't stand for. Tara would be, I can't use what she would say because Debbie would shoot me. Tara would be overwhelmed to know that her name is going to be on this building and forever projecting her spirit, her desire, and her will to live. Tara befriended everybody she met here. She got friendly with the people who cleaned her rooms, and she projected that same will to live, that friendliness, that spirit, that compassion. And to that end, we think the center is going to be an outstanding center in the cancer world. Now, I'm going to tell you what I think the naming of the center does for Penn. And I remember I was talking to Dr. Schuchter, and I'm sure she forgets this. And I was telling her what I thought. And she said to me, I'm really amazed, besides your legal degree, you have a medical degree. And I said, what? She said, yes, obviously you got it from Motel 6. So, you know, we hope that the development of the center, first and foremost, helps Penn raise more money. A named center in fundraising is a great thing and a big deal. We hope it gives Penn a louder voice in the melanoma world. We hope it gives their researchers more pride that they now are doing work in a named center with a face that they can identify and a spirit they can identify with. And we hope that this helps Penn and Dr. Schuchter recruit better and brighter people. Not that we don't have the smartest, but there's always somebody smarter someplace. And we hope that this helps them get to that level. I can tell you, Tara would be ecstatic that they decided to make Dr. Schuchter the director of the Tara Melanoma Center, and also she will receive a endowed professorship. I have it right? So I think nothing would make Tara happier than that to happen. I think it's not only the loss of her life that this center remembers, but it honors the extraordinary life that she led and the incredible legacy that she left behind that this center will proudly represent. I think this legacy's hallmark will be the inimaginable strength and positivity and the infectiousness that had on everybody here and in the future. I think we leave with Tara's motto that making the best of it and finding the silver lining in every situation will help inspire everybody. I think Tara would want the foundation to continue, and it will continue. Debbie and I have pledged that outside whatever we do for the center, we will continue to pay all the expenses for the foundation, and every dollar raised will continue to go to melanoma research, because that was important to Tara's mission. And I say this, that melanoma may have won the first round with Tara, but Tara would tell us to make the best of it, get focused, and fight the fight.
Thank you, George. Hi, everybody. Welcome. My name is Bob Vonderheit. I'm the director of the Abramson Cancer Center. I just want to point out that as George was speaking, and Lynn and Larry, the sun is coming through the window. So I was taking photos over there, and the whole crowd is lit up with this backlight. I don't think it's a coincidence. From the moment we first met Tara Miller, we knew she was family. And we also knew from that moment that we were part of her family. And I can tell you, as we think about this center, that we're going to work together like family. We're going to stick together like family. We're going to support each other like family. We're going to tell each other that if you actually listened for a change and started working, that we could actually get something done here, that we would argue like family, and we'd be committed. We have many fine centers of research here at the University of Pennsylvania and the School of Medicine and the Abramson Cancer Center, and this center mechanism is critical for how we make change. For tonight's special occasion, we changed that wall, by the way, George and Debbie, we quickly got on it. And you can see over on the right, it says what we're about, advancing knowledge for good. We're doing good here. We're going to achieve that through knowledge. And the difference about this center, and really what difference it makes for the melanoma research community, is that this is the Tara Miller Melanoma Center. Look at the behind me, right there. We've talked about Tara's amazing speech to us. I don't know if folks realize, but she delivered it right in this room. And right over there, where the sun is. And we hear her voice every day. Actually, in my job, when I was sometimes thinking about a hard problem, you know, that what we just heard is on YouTube, and so sometimes I'll just click on it to remind myself what it is that we're trying to do here. And so we hear her voice every day. I hear that voice every day, and I hear three things. In her words and in her actions, she told us to love each other. Number one. Number two, she said the most amazing phrase from a person in her position. She said, make the best of it. George, you quoted her. Make the best of it. And we do. I want to remind everybody, Friday, June 28th, Make the Best of It Bash, 7 p.m., Tropicana Casino and Resort in Atlantic City. Friday, June 28th. Okay. And the number three thing she said that I hear is that research can cure melanoma. Research can cure melanoma, and that as well as we're doing, we need to redouble our efforts. And that research, as you've heard, as Larry has articulated, has been incredibly impactful, and we are making breakthroughs. Not enough. We know that. We need to keep working, and the funding that we've received has been really impactful and transformational. I've been lucky enough to be a part of the team and to receive some of that funding. And I wholeheartedly agree with Tara as I think about the Abramson Cancer Center that research cures cancer. And that's how we're going to do it. So, Tara Miller, I know you're listening to us right now. I want to tell you, you had us at hello. And here we are, 300 people. We're answering back. We're going to do it. We heard you. And we are so fortunate to have this incredible community behind us who've supported all of us at the Abramson Cancer Center, Penn Medicine, the Millers, the Make the Best of It Bash every summer. And so many of you are here with us tonight. We thank you for coming tonight. We can't thank you enough for being part of this story. And we thank Debbie, George, Lauren, and Christy. You all are simply amazing, and all of Tara's friends who are here and our supporters, thank you for sharing Tara with us and giving us the inspiration to one day finish this task. And we will do it, and we're going to do it like family. Thank you very much.
So now we're going to have a toast. I think champagne is circulating. Is that the next? Oh, great. Thank you. So does everyone have a glass? Let's quickly, this side of the room is without champagne. We got to make sure we're going to do a toast together. Do you guys, let's see. Should I wait? You want to do you guys will do a virtual toast on that side? Okay. So, to the Millers, Debbie and George, Lauren and Christy and Josh, you're an incredibly wonderful and loving family. Your perseverance to make the best of it, Tara's motto, in the face of loss is endlessly inspiring and pushes us and propels us. And we're so honored tonight to establish the Tara Miller Melanoma Center, forever cementing Tara's legacy. To Tara Miller and the center, and to the Miller family. So good. Is everybody, I'm virtually clicking all these glasses. This is such an incredible night. Thank you. And we have one more. ribbon cutting.
Everyone, hold a piece of the ribbon.
Grab a piece. Bob, grab a piece of the rhythm.
Nice, Dan.
All right, everyone smile at me. Just keep it a little taut so we can cut. There you go. Nice smile right at me. Here we go. Stay there. Don't move. Perfect. And go ahead and cut it.